ain't gonna lie, chat. I thought I was done feeling like this for the season. I thought it wasn't gonna be able to get no worse. I thought the emotional value was taken out of the season, but it all came rushing back. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti Talking Sports. You know what it is. Shout out Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries? Like,
They stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. I really thought I was done feeling like this for the year. I thought it was no way this team was going to be able to reel me back in. Yes, I get it. Juan with 3-8. Why did you even have expectation? Why did you even get excited? I get that. But man, my heart hurts. It does. And I get it. Again, we're 3-8, we're 3-9 now. But man, to lose like that stings. That just goes to show you where we are as a team. Before we get any further, YouTube, what's going on? It's your man Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications. Call 240-804-7327 to have your voice be heard on the post-game show. I know a lot of y'all are probably excited about this loss because we can get a top 5 pick, or we're that much closer to a top 5 pick. Me, on the other hand, I'm depleted. I'm dejected because I love this team. And when we're in a game like that with the Denver team, like that is quote unquote one of the best teams in the league, and you're battling, you're that close to beating them. You're a damn fool if you call yourself a fan and you're not rooting for this team to win. When you take a team like that to overtime, you have so many crucial plays in overtime. You go from a 2nd and 25. That was some bullshit. Let's talk about it. First of all, they didn't call it a tripping. They didn't call it a tripping. Prior to that, they call and I'm going back to the fourth quarter actually. But then they call the false start on Terry McLaurin, where he clear as day, made a move. I mean, got set, I should say, before making a move. Clear as day. Commentators even said it. But once this team showed fight, which they did all night, once this team had a chance to win, when I was waiting for them to break away, that being Denver, waiting for them to break away, and they just kept letting us hang around, you a damn fool if you don't think I wanted to win this game tonight. Big play after big play from Zach Ertz, who late had a chance to get a touchdown, and he just dropped it. You know, I'm depleted, man, because it's like we're that close. Do you know what this win would have meant for this team? And I get it. We wouldn't have made it to the playoffs regardless, right? But like a win for that team would have meant so much. Would have felt right. Would have felt normal. Would have felt like this is what we were supposed to be like this year. And for everybody that's on Terry McLaurin's head, Terry McLaurin, he hurt on purpose. He missed games on purpose. We shouldn't have paid him. He did all that crime for the money. Now he's hurt. Well, I hope you guys understand who. Yes, I'm going to use vulgar language. Cover your ears. Mute it if you don't like cursing. But I'm pissed off at some fans for how they talk about Terry McLaurin. Well, I hope he did a good enough job reminding you who the fuck he is tonight. And yes, I understand. Like I said, I already warned you. So turn it down. If you don't like hearing, I don't care. Because Terry McLaurin up 1-on-1 against the best corner in football and fucking worked his ass tonight. in his first game back. I don't care what anybody got to say about Terry McLaurin. You thought this offense wasn't good before Terry McLaurin? I hope you see the major difference he makes tonight. Should have had 3 touchdowns tonight. Mind you, the first offensive drive, Mariota throws a nice deep ball. Terry McLaurin wide open. What does Patrick Surtain do? Illegal contact. Love Patrick Surtain. Know he's one of the best in the game. But I hope for all our Commanders fans, I don't give a F what Denver fans think. I don't care what the rest of the outside media think about Terry McLaurin. Oh, he's not top 10. Oh, he's not top 5. I hope for Commanders fans that were turning on Terry McLaurin. He reminded you tonight who he is. We got a small glimpse of what this offense was supposed to be tonight. With the 2 biggest plays of the game. Josh Connolly, god damn, young fella. You played so well all night long. All night long. And in the biggest moment, you get a holding call. And I can't blame him too much, man, because I mean, look, if I think it was Nick Bonito or whoever was rushing, he got low as shit to the ground. He got low to the ground, and what you think that young fella did? He panicked. I don't want to give up a strip sack to lose the game. So he did the next best thing was hold. It just sucks that on that hold, Terry McLaurin had a touchdown. But it's cool because the very next play, what happens, y'all? Deebo Samuel, right in the breadbasket. This is what that offense was supposed to be this year. For everybody that wants to clown Adam Peters, and again, I'm not saying he is escaping free and he did the perfect job in this free agency this past offseason. I'm not saying that. But I hope this was further proof tonight that injuries killed our season. We did not have a chance because of injuries. Because you see the difference this team looks when you got your best guys out there. Terry McLaurin, first game back, touchdown. Did he finish with 100 yards? If not, almost 100 yards. Zach Ertz had a game, y'all. He had a game, 100 yards, like 10 receptions. Like, this stings, man. This sucks. It does. Because we had him. We had a chance, man. Even with the refs bullshit tonight, what were the refs on tonight? Can we talk about it? I mean, like I already mentioned, the non-tripping call, the intentional grounding call when he clearly was trying to throw it to Terry McLaurin, the false start on Terry McLaurin. Can we talk about it? Like, this game proved to me what I already knew. This team is not a 3-9 team. With health, I should say. Right now, we're 3-9. But with health, this team ain't 3-9. With the right people in place, this team ain't 3-9. Dan Quinn did a hell of a job calling defense tonight. There were some plays, though. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. Third down, I felt like we could have been better. Because it was too open on third down. Middle of the field was open all night long. Evan Ingram on that same in route, on that same out route all night long. And I would have loved to see him, what's the word I'm looking for? Adjust and say, you know what? Let me take Bobby off that and put Jordan McGee right there. Y'all see Jordan McGee tonight flying around? Could have had a sack, but it was a great pickup block by R.J. Harvey. But Jordan McGee, nice. We already knew that, though. You know what else we already knew? Mikey Sainristil is an outside corner. I know. I said it last year when nobody wanted to listen. Because, again, I'm not mad at you because you wanted to add more corners to this room, and I agreed. I felt like we should have, or I was fine with it with getting Trey, and I love the Trey pick. But when I kept telling people, and we probably, I probably would be wrong regardless, because Marshawn Lattimore clearly was cooked. But I was saying I'm fine with how the cornerback room looked. You bring back healthy Marshawn, you make Mikey play outside, you put Noah Iguodala back in the slot, who I think played well tonight. We never give him opportunities, but every time we give him opportunities, he seems to play well. I said I was fine with Mikey playing outside. He's not a cornerback that you can just put inside and say, go guard the fastest guy, go do this, go do that. He needs it simplified for him. And being a boundary corner, I don't care if he's 5'9". I don't care. You saw what he did on that sideline? Absolutely rung the receiver's bell. I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was McLaurin. I don't know if it was RJ Harvey. Somebody. He cracked him. Made him get up a little woozy. You know what else we learned tonight? And I'm pretty sure we all knew. And thinking about it, I'm gonna read the comment section. I'm pissed because we lost, but again, this game proved a lot to me that I already knew about this team. Jacob Martin, extend him right now. Extend him right now. That youngin playing his ass off, and he is playing in a much more role that he wasn't supposed to play in. How many guys can we say that about this year, though? We can say that about Jacob Martin. We can say that about Eddie Goldman, who played well tonight. We can say that about Deebo Samuel, who was brought here to be the number 2 weapon, but not the number 2 receiver, or at times this year, number 1 receiver with Terry McLaurin being out, number 1 option. You know what else we learned tonight? Hey, Treylon Burks. Hey, chat. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of y'all wanted Treylon Burks. Was like, hey, I like this move. I like that. I was one of the ones that was sitting back. I didn't necessarily dislike it. I just was. I said, hey, it ain't nothing. He ain't gonna do nothing for us. That's exactly how I looked at it. One hand though, Treylon. Okay, one hand though, shorty. That's how you rock it. I'm like, all right, Treylon. Okay. Hey, he might be something. You get him a full off season here. We might have found Noah Brown's replacement. And even bigger than Noah Brown, we might have found another weapon. Dare I say receiver 2? Potentially, though. Because the reason why I'm saying potentially is because he's young. He's young, man. So, like, this guy can grow into that. Again, this is a former first-round pick out of the SEC. Well, I want to remember. If Arkansas, I think he went to. I could be wrong. But this was supposed to be A.J. Brown's replacement. This is a former first-round pick we're talking about. And sometimes, as we see often, some players just need a change of scenery. A change of scenery. I would love to see what he looks like with Jaden Daniels coming back next week. Which, if y'all don't know, more likely than not, he'll be back next week. Jaden Daniels' mom confirmed it, I guess. So, yeah. You know what else we learned? We learned a lot tonight. Deebo Samuel, I know he wants the bag, but I really hope he signs another 1-year deal with us. Please. If Adam Peters isn't willing to give him a multi-year contract, I hope he just takes one more chance with us, bro. Because I'm telling you, tonight was a glimpse of what this offense was supposed to be with him and Terry McLaurin. I know it was. This felt like 2024 until the ending. Because if this was 2024, we would have found a way to find. We would have been the team to come out on the right side of this win. But it's 2025. And this season has ended or has gone horribly. That 2-point conversion, we had it. Kliff drew it up. He do. How much of y'all want to blame Mariota for that? Because I'm not gonna lie, I want to blame him for it because it's like lofted over the top, you know. But Nick Bonito's a dog, bro. Like, he's a dog. Like, he made a play. And yeah, hindsight, we're not in the moment. We're not in these shoes of these players. So it's like it's easy for us to be like with the Conley holding. It's easy to be criticize Conley for that holding. It's easy to criticize Mariota for that for not throwing it high enough. But let's just call it what it is. Mariota's been throwing shit high all game long. He's been throwing high all game long and missing a lot of people. Off the hands of Zach Ertz, off the hands of Terry McLaurin, off the hands of Treylon Burks. Like, if we're being honest, and I'm not taking those shots at Patrick Surtain whatsoever because I know he's one of the best in the game, but a lot of the incompletions that were intended his way were bad footballs by Mariota. I would love to see how these outcomes of that matchup with Terry McLaurin, even Treylon Burks would have been had the ball been put in the wheelhouse of the receiver. So maybe in his head, he's like, bruh, I've been throwing high all game long. I don't want to do it again. I don't know. I mean, he's not scot-free. Of course, you would love to see him make that play, but that's what you get out of Mariota. We got the full Mariota experience. We did. Good, bad, ugly. The ugly being the interception, right? The ugly being taking a sack when you shouldn't. So the good is everything that he did tonight. He played his ass off. You can't even hold you. Whether it was the beautiful deep ball to Debo on the sideline, I mean, running his ass off tonight, bro. It was some third downs we shouldn't have converted, and he like that 2nd and 25, I think, if I can remember correctly. Like, he turned that into something that it shouldn't have been because of his legs. You know. So we just got the full Mariota experience, bro. That's what it is, and I agree. I seen a comment just flash by, and again, if you guys want to have your voice be heard on the show tomorrow, I should say. Call 240-804-7327 and leave your immediate reaction to the post game to this game. Someone said we should have chipped Nick Benito. Yeah, I agree. I'm like, he comes in scot-free. What do you expect? And I'm looking back at that play. I'm like, most running backs on their way out to their route would chip. They normally chip that edge. McNichols didn't touch him at all. And I don't know if you do that, like, it slows down his route. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it slows down his route development, and he's not as open as he was. Because Chris Collinsworth, Mike Tirico said he had a walk-in touchdown right there. So maybe it's not open, had he chipped him, but I would have loved to not let him come scot-free, though. Like, that would have been great. We on the biggest play of the game, we let him come scot-free, bro. You feel me? But it is what it is. This is the 2025 Commanders, y'all. Like, we find ways to not be on the right side of these games. Yeah, it's rough. I know a lot of people. I was gonna be highly critical of Kliff, but before we get to Kliff, you know what else we learned tonight? Hey, Chris Rodriguez is running back too, y'all. I know every year they want to play this game with Rodriguez and have him hanging around, the practice squad, call him up when we need him, tender him, 1 year tender him or whatever, 1 year contract. No, he's running back too. Running back one, I don't know. I'm not giving up on Bill, but I wouldn't be opposed to us going to get another a legit RB1 who we feel like can be that dude. But Chris Rodriguez is RB2. That dude runs hard. That dude, bro, he turned a play where he got stuck in the backfield into a 12-yard run. Like, he's playing his ass off. If anything we learned from this run game, he's good. And we all knew that, though. Coming out of Kentucky, we've all loved what we've seen out of C-Rod. But he's just getting the opportunities now. And you know why else you can't put him on a practice squad anymore? Because he's had a lot of his good games on primetime slates. So teams around the league are saying, Chris Rodriguez, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's Chris Rodriguez? Who's this? And they're finding out who he is, and you let him get open to the market or whatever may have you, however you want to do it. Ain't no guarantee that he comes back. Not at all. You know what else we learned tonight? And I know I keep saying this. What has Ben Sinnott good for, y'all? It was one play early on in the game where Ben Sinnott, and they was like, that's not no easy task to block. I think they were talking about one of the Jonathan Cooper, one of the pass rushers or whatever. I'm like, no, don't make no excuses for him. His one and only job is to come in and pass block. No, he doesn't catch the ball. He doesn't run after catch. He doesn't do anything for this team. The reason we drafted him is so he can be like Kyle Juszczyk. What does Kyle Juszczyk do so well besides catching the ball? Block. That's Kyle Juszczyk right there. That's Patrick Ricard. That's one of these good fullbacks in the league. Darnell Washington, tight end, is the big 300-pounder guy. Like, they're making that block, or they're at least putting up an effort. He totally whiffed. He totally missed. What is Ben Sinnott good for? And this is coming from somebody that was high on him out of, was it Kansas State? I forget what college he went to, but I thought it was a good pick because I thought we would use him how they used Kyle Juszczyk. But what is he good for? Because you know what else I learned today? And I've been banging the table for him for the past few weeks, if you listen. Give his opportunities to Kosin Yankov. Hey, it's something to Kosin Yankov. I go back to the preseason. I go back to the Ravens preseason game where he made that nice catch, that long catch in the middle of the field and showed some yak ability. And he made a nice catch today. It's something to Kosin Yankov. I'm telling you, man. I'm done with Ben Sinnott. I don't care for him to do anything for this team anymore. Kosin Yankov is where it's at, chat. Not gonna lie. Everyone wants to, and I rightfully so, because he was a top pick in our draft class. Everyone wants Zach Ertz to turn the tide over to Ben Sinnott. I think Kosin Yankov is that guy. You pair Kosin Yankov and John Bates up, and sure, Ben Sinnott could be your third guy, or maybe you go out and get another third guy. But I think John Bates' hands has got better this year. He's not dropping the ball nearly as much. He had a nice couple grabs tonight as well. Like, going into the offseason, I hope they really assess that position, and I hope they give Kosin Yankov more opportunities. I really do. Sheldon, we'll get to the comment section in a second. Sheldon, you don't kick the field goal. You play to win. You're 3-8. You have nothing to lose. You had them on the ropes. You're not playing a tie. You give them the ball back. If you kick the field goal, give them the ball back, you either lose or tie because there's 6 minutes left. Your defense let them go down in 3 plays. You have nothing to lose. You don't tie right there. You go for the win. You're 3-8. Okay? You don't do that. Anyways, Kliff. How are we feeling about Kliff? I know I just seen a comment earlier that was like Kliff needs to go. Kliff is such iffy to me because I love what Kliff can dial up. I know he can draw up with the best in the game. I think Kliff kind of suffers. He's this sounds like harsh to say because I think Kliff is so much better than Scott Turner. But he's Scott Turner with talent. And what do I mean by that? Like, Scott Turner's scheme was bland as F. Bland. I don't care. It was bland. Kliff's scheme is not bland. Kliff he suffers from situational awareness, if you ask me. Key point earlier in the game. You run a was it on 2nd and 8? He did something. Let me look back at my notes right quick, see if I can remember exactly what he said, what he had. So early on, the quick passing game was killing him. I felt like we were doing our thing with the quick pass game, and then he decides to slow it down with the run. And then I think he also ended up doing a was it like a wildcat or something like that? Let me see if I can remember correctly. Yeah. It's like a little wild, like wow. It was a handoff on 2nd and 8 to Debo Samuel, and I did not like that call. I felt like you should have kept them on the ropes because they couldn't stop the quick pass game early on. Remember, they weren't getting much pressure on Mariota for majority of the game, especially first half, because he was getting the ball out quick, getting the ball out quick, getting the ball out quick. I felt like he should have continued that the first drive because we think about it, man. They did not stop us really at all besides one time. And even that one drive where Tressway punted, we were moving the ball. We were in their territory all night long. We lived in their territory. Let me look at this team stat. Bro, we lived in their territory all night long. All night long. And we just early on couldn't convert. We couldn't convert early on. Had we turned some of those, finished some of those possessions off with points, this game isn't even close. But as you mentioned, Kliff, he got too cute, man. He gets too cute with the Wildcat, snap to Debo, Wildcat snap to was it Bill too? I think. The QB draw. It's like you don't gotta be cute, especially down by the goal line, man. You don't gotta be cute. I don't like some of the decisions to go for draws on the second down. Like if you're gonna run a draw, I think you either do that on first down or you do that when you're more closer to manageable to getting the sticks. Moving the sticks. Not on the 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8, because then if you don't get it, now you're at 3rd and long. Now you're in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. You don't want Mariota living in them kind of situations. But Kliff has the talent. I think he just lacks the situational awareness. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I think the biggest thing that we struggled at tonight was get off the field on 3rd down. We got Denver to 3rd down so many times tonight, and we struggled mightily getting them off the field on 3rd down. None bigger than the one, I think it was like 3rd and 8, and we rushed 3 because Dan Quinn got scared shitless because 3rd down before that he blitzed and it didn't work. Bo Nix was able to step up and just run right up the middle of the field for the 1st down. So the next time we got in the 3rd and 8, he said, you know what, we're going to rush 3. And I didn't like that. I said, make Bo Nix beat you. Blitz him again. He got you the first time, so what? And the reason he got you was because for whatever reason, I don't think this is the play design. I just think our players don't lack the smarts. You had Jeremy McNichols and another defender rushing the same gap. So that allowed Bo Nix to be open in the middle of the field with nobody there. If Jeremy Reeves was smart, Jeremy Reeves would have realized, hey, let me go find work. That's what the goods do in the league. They go find work, or they find a way around in the blitz. Why would we both rush the same gap? No, I'm gonna go over here. I see this gap is open, middle of the field. Let me rush it. So at least there's somebody there to maybe stop him short of the marker, maybe even get to him, maybe even surprise him, maybe even force him into a tip turnover. You know what I mean? So I felt like tonight the only thing that I did not like by the defense was we struggled on 3rd down. You know what I mean? But other than that, I felt like the defense played well enough for us to win again. And this is against a much better Broncos team. A Broncos team in which I felt confident about beating all night long. Even before this game started, I felt like we were going to win this game because that offense is – Bo Nix is so mid. He's so mid, bro. Like, he's not trash, but he's not a team. He's not a player that's going to put you over the top. That defense is so good. Yeah, we know it. We know how talented that defense is. We know it. Alex Singleton back tonight after beating cancer. Prayers up to him. Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Allen in the middle, Roach in the middle. Obviously, PS2 and Tawanoa Hufanga on the back end and all those guys. We know how good that defense is. But I knew they were to be had because I knew that offense was going to struggle at times tonight, and they did. That offense is so ass. It's ass. And we had them. We had them, man. We had them. We truly did, y'all. We did. But that being said, I'm going to get to some of y'all comments, and then I'll get out of here. because it's late. Got early mornings, of course. So let's get some of the comments. PS2 got away with passing the first all game. Look, I don't care what nobody say. And I can't wait for the one-on-one matchups to be released. I might even do it myself. Terry McLaurin won that battle. Mono, Terry McLaurin won the Patrick Surtain versus Terry McLaurin battle. I don't care what nobody say. Cooked him. Reeves showed the blitz early and proceeded to rush the same gap. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And mind you, there was look at that play again. It was another person that was rushing in that same exact gap as well. And again, whether that was designed or not, I think you got to take over at some point as a player and say, you know what? I'm gonna find work. I'm gonna try to find another way to get to the quarterback. I'm not gonna rush the same gap that either one, another player's already rushing, or two, the one that I gave away pre-snap. I'm happy with the better draft pick. I know some of y'all are. I wasn't there. I don't care for a draft pick because we have the biggest player figured out on the team, Jaden Daniels. We don't need to tank. Regardless of where we finish, you're going to have to hit. Just because we pick 5, pick 6, doesn't mean we're guaranteed to draft a stud. When did we learn our lesson from Chase Young? For a lot of people that want to question Adam Peters, wouldn't you want him to have to pick at 14, 15, 16 so you can actually see if he can draft? If you let him pick at 5, it's easy to pick the quote unquote blue chip player. But look, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at you for wanting the top pick. It is what it is at this point. But I'd rather this team finish strong this team is not who we were supposed to be this year. That's all I'm saying. We stay healthy, we're in a playoff picture right now. Why do I feel like they didn't want to win? Questionable decision. Nah, I don't think so. I felt like they wanted to win late, especially going for 2 now. If they would have kicked the field goal, that'd have been the most obvious sign that they didn't want to win. But they didn't kick the field goal. They went for 2. I feel like they wanted to win. Broncos fan here. Hey, what's up? I was very nervous about this game. Oh my God, my Broncos pulled it off at the minute. I'm sorry your team lost at the last minute. Good game though. Hey, look, you ain't gotta apologize. You're a Broncos fan, so of course you want to win. And hell of a play by Nick Bonito. One of the best pass rushers in the game. And you guys won. Hats off to you, man. Good team. I felt like we could have beat you all. I felt good about coming into this game because offensively, I don't think you guys are that good. I think your offense is going to be the reason why it's going to prevent you from making a deep playoff push, because when it comes down to your offense needing to put points on the board and actually put together sustainable drives and actually, win the game on the back of your quarterback, I just don't think Bo Nix is that. I think he's good. He's okay, but he's not a person that pushes you over for a Lombardi. So that's my personal opinion. Now you get home field advantage. You get the 1 or maybe 2 seed, and you got to run through Denver in altitude and in the cold weather. Maybe it's a different story, but that's just how I feel. Direct snap to Debo. Yeah, I didn't like that. Did not like that. Kliff does QB draws on 3rd and 10, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Right? Like, it's fun. It's weird. It's weird with Kliff. Kliff gets away from the run game, and I feel like it was working early on. But I felt like the quick pass game was working more so than anything else. Because I felt like the run game was working more so, not because the holes were there, but more so just because J-Mac he's always good for a nice third and 10 run. Because that's what Kliff did. Kliff ran the ball on 3rd and 10, and somehow J-Mac was able to turn it into a first down because of solely him. So I kind of take that back. The run game wasn't necessarily there tonight. It was just our guys. Our guys was just J Mac, C-Rod, just not being denied. I'm mad on Kliff. I'll take the draft pick when we with the new team get him. I think Kliff is coming back next year. I don't think we get a new OC. Should have kicked the field goal. Senate is horrible. Yeah, I'm over Senate. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm over Senate. I'm more intrigued with Kosin Yankov now. Maybe he provides us with something. If he gets the opportunities, who knows? But that's where I'm at with it now. keep playing. Somebody in Dallas gonna get him or something like that. I could see us winning against the Vikings and Giants and maybe the Eagles. Yeah, we're definitely beating the Giants next week. Jaden Daniels coming back next week, and their quarterback situation is horrible. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely could see us winning against Minnesota for sure. Almost guarantee it. And that sounds crazy. I think the real problem is we didn't give Bonito a shove. Yeah, I think so too. That's why I said we allowed Nick Bonito to come in on block. What did you expect to happen? And again, most running backs chip the edge rush on their way out, but I don't know if he would have been that open had he, did that, or had he gave him a little bit of a little shove, a little something, a little something. Man, that game was crazy though. If we really talk about that game, it was crazy, bro. From the game being over to Talanoa Hufanga running over J Mac to get us the first down on pass interference on the pass interference call to the refs holding us. Like it was a crazy game, man. It was. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're 3-9, and I just even if we lose these games for the rest of the year, at least play like that. You know what I mean? At least play like that. Yeah, Burst is nice hell. This lowers our need for wide receiver. We could still get one, but it ain't pressing. I definitely still want to get a receiver. Well, it depends. Because Terry's obviously clearly Terry McLaurin reminded y'all who he is tonight. Of course. Debo, I think you bring him back if he wants to come. I hope he comes back. And then maybe I think you still get another receiver in the draft because I don't think there's much in the free agent class. You get even if they was to say we're picking a first round receiver, he's just that good. I wouldn't be mad at it because now you got Terry, your first round receiver, Debo, and Treylon. Treylon was a hell of a number 4 receiver and could eventually grow into a number 3 because say you bring back Debo Samuel for another year and now not a long term contract or a multi-year contract. Say it's another year and he has a good year, but you don't want to bring him back because he's older and you feel like, all right, we used Debo 2 years, we can let him go. Now you got Treylon, Terry for his final year of his contract, or at least 2 more years at that point. And now you got the young fella who can probably grow into being your number 1 receiver. Terry McLaurin could be your number 2 and Treylon could be your number 3. It's a lot you could do. So, yeah, he's interesting. And he definitely added his name to the hat of guys. But that being said, though, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. I love y'all, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'll catch y'all next time. Make sure you stay tuned for all the content and videos coming out on the channel and live streams as well. If you guys want to have your voice be heard on the channel, make sure you call into the post-game show, 240-804-7327, and you'll be in tomorrow's video. That being said, I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. Peace.
Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.